The alleged scenario involving Trevor Mbija, Rigathi Gachagua, and Ramogi TV is political theater of the highest African standard, somewhere between a village baraza, a cattle auction, and a surprise chief's visit where everyone suddenly becomes very honest. I want us to unpack this WhatsApp democracy moment using practical wisdom and some bit of humor. Elders were right in Ghana when they said that when the drumbeat changes, the dancers must adjust their steps. When the political environment shifts, everyone adapts quickly, including journalists. In African politics, interviews are rarely just interviews. They're sometimes strategic wrestling matches in suits. If questions were allegedly being sent live via WhatsApp, then the studio may have temporarily transformed from a newsroom into something closer to a political VAR room. It's like when your aunt suddenly visits your house and your mother whispers instructions from the kitchen. Tell her, we are not home. But you're already at the door holding the keys. The moment becomes coordinated survival. Similarly, if producers were sending prompts live, it suggests the interview had backup midfielders on the bench. Elders in Uganda were right when they said, however tall the elephant grows, it cannot hide its tail. Truth eventually shows itself. When Rigathi Gachagua claimed bias and then a video allegedly surfaced afterward, politically, that is what we call evidence entering the chart. You see, in African politics, timing is everything. Evidence appearing immediately after accusations is like someone arriving exactly when nyama choma is being served. People begin to ask questions. If your friend says, I did not eat the last mandazi, then CCTV shows flour on his shirt and sugar on his lips. Even the village chicken knows the truth. Ethiopian elders were right when they said, the one who fetches honey must accept bee stings. If you enter public life, criticism comes with the territory. Politicians entering interviews expect tough questions. Journalists asking tough questions expect accusations of bias. This is the natural ecosystem of democracy. You cannot enter a football pitch wearing white shoes and complain that grass and mud touched your shoes. Similarly, politicians expect pressure. Journalists expect pushbacks. And citizens expect drama. Everyone gets what they ordered. Maasai elders were right when they said, two bulls cannot drink from one small river without pushing each other. Powerful actors competing for influence will eventually clash. This interview controversy is not really about WhatsApp messages alone. It reflects a deeper struggle over narrative control, over political legitimacy, and over media credibility. You see, in Kenyan politics, interviews are sometimes less about questions and more about who owns the microphone psychologically. Two boda riders cannot both claim the same passenger without a negotiation or a staring contest. Elders in Africa were right when they said, When the hunter learns to shoot without missing, the bird learns to fly without perching. Strategy evolves on both sides. If politicians suspect interviews will come with hidden instructions, they will most definitely prepare counter strategies, recording interviews, bringing their own media teams, responding aggressively on air. When teachers start surprise tests, students start surprise sickness. When that happens, balance is restored. Elders in Nigeria were right when they said that the lizard that jumps from the high tree nods to itself if nobody praises it. If others don't validate you, you validate yourself. When politicians accuse journalists of bias publicly, they are sometimes also speaking to their supporters. Even if the studio doesn't clap for me, my people are watching. Political communication is never just between the interviewer and the interviewee. It's also between leaders to supporters. It is like arguing with the conductor in a matatu loudly, not to win the argument, but to show passengers you are not weak. You see, in many African democracies, interviews are not neutral rivers. They are crocodile-infested crossings. Journalists try to ask tough questions. Politicians try to control perceptions. Supporters try to interpret everything as victory. And WhatsApp just sits quietly like a village gossip elder, pretending innocence. Elders were right in Africa when they said that when elephants fight, the grass suffers. Here, elephants are the political leaders and the media houses. Grass refers to the ordinary citizens trying to understand what really happened. But Kenyans, big Kenyans, will still analyze everything like Premier League pundits before halftime. My name is Piketty, and watch out for the next analysis.